What's up guys, Cloudie here checking in from the America server. And finally we have received the sneak peek for the second update of June, so let's just quickly go through it. Sadly it's not as detailed as I would have hoped. Some questions are still not really answered, but let's see what they wrote. So first of all, of course, we have the Eclipse Renewable, which they have already told us about that they would do. What they are doing, they say they changed the system from a relay style battle system to your wave clear style battle system. I have no idea what a relay style battle system is, but they say that this is now changing. Okay, and they changed the number of parties from 20. Based on these screenshots, I would say 5. I do not see a scroll bar here, so that was my money saying also that that this would be about 5 parties for now, based on how they are changing it, so that seems to be correct. We also get more Eclipse tickets that we can use now, so the maximum number becomes 5. And the rewards are changing as well. We do not get the first clear or initial clear bonus anymore, but there will be some MVP bonus which they show here, and this should give you some extra rewards. And then there is any parties that fail to clear the wave will not receive any rewards. Now I have no idea what this means. Does it mean that if you do not clear any waves, then you do not get, or a certain number of waves? Typical kind of, or well, kind of Westphal logic or translations that this is unclear. I guess we will find out once they have released this update. And yeah, the MVP reward for the team that goes the furthest. Yeah, so based on this, you guys can expect 5 teams that will need to be built. This is what you will be able to use your tickets with. It's kind of funny that they are using fairly standard teams, at least here. That's the classic Freyre Hartna tank DPS. We have one with the Lovril Mediana melee tank cheese. The rest looks a bit weird, like Bow and Cecilia. Can that clear? How does that work? Well, that's kind of strange. Okay, they do not mention any balance changes. Will stuff still one-shot you? Will you still need more rings on your tanks because otherwise you cannot live? Do they still have the healing reduction that after a couple of waves you just heal for nothing? So even if your tank is not one-shotted, you just have no chance to keep them alive without a morphing. So sadly, none of that is mentioned. I have no idea if they did any rebalancing. Since they do not even mention it, my guess is not. So prepare your morphings, guys. And the final note on Eclipse is that the change is applied on the 23rd of June, and any incomplete Eclipse runs will be terminated. So if you left your run halfway through, you could rejoin it now, but if you have any such runs pending when the update is applied, then that will be lost and you will not get any rewards. So please do finish your runs before the update on next Tuesday, because otherwise you will miss out on your rewards. Now next up, gear preset system. This is something they mentioned in their January introductory video or something. Basically, they said that you can now save gears and transcendence perks into presets. Originally, they were saying that you can do this for various contents, like you do it with Guild War now, that you can just save your gears and your skills and whatnot, and it will be used in Guild War like that. I'm not quite sure if this means that the way they describe it is kind of weird. It might just be that for certain heroes you can save various presets and then both gear and skill, and then just apply them through the push of a button. Probably, it sounds like that. I would have liked the other option better, where I can just do a world boss setup, do a dragon setup, a field raid setup, a challenge raid, GC, PvP, whatever, and I do not have to constantly re-gear the heroes. But even if they do this, that's like a quality of life improvement. Will make the whole inventory and gear management a little bit less of a pain, especially now that you will need to run 5 teams. Well, I have 20 now, so for me this is already an improvement. Okay, but they don't really give too much information about this. However, they do mention it later on in the gear custom slot improvement, so they say that this was also one of the ideas they had to make life easier, but because of the way it was implemented, it wasn't all that useful in parts, because you could only equip one set on a hero at a time and you couldn't really break them or move them around. So if you had, for instance, an earring and an orb equipped on your Artemia, then you couldn't move just the orb to another character. You had to like move the whole set, and this was making it a bit painful when you wanted to do the gear changes. So now this is changing. You will not see also the numbers on the gear anymore, and you can equip more than one set at once. So if, for instance, one of your sets is only like the earring and the other is the orb, then you can equip them together and they will not overwrite each other, because otherwise you would have like your other pieces removed and stuff like that. But there is also an important note here. The gear sets will no longer be removed from your inventory, which means that if you have a lot of gear sets, then you can expect that these are all coming back to your inventory now, and you will need that much more inventory space to be able to run stuff. So they do know that this will be the case. Also, you will be able to grind and sell gear that is in your gear sets now. So they advise that you use the lock functionality to not accidentally sell them if you do mass grinds and sells and whatnot. Furthermore, they are also adding pages for your rune setup. So it means if you are constantly switching your runes for various contents, then you can, with the use of rubies, of course, add extra pages to your unique weapon and then just switch between them. This is useful for some characters who need, for instance, toughness for some content but use attack runes in others, or if you need to switch between penetration setups and attack setups depending on what you fight. So this can be useful, and they say that this will work together with the gear preset system. So if you have like page 1 and 2 on your unique weapon, you can save page 1 in one preset, add page 2 to the other preset. So also not too bad. I guess these are quality of life improvements. Gearing should be less of a pain, which people with a lot of characters and gears will appreciate, I think. And finally, we are getting a second batch of wedding costumes. It involves Klaus, Cassandra, Janne, Yuria, Hartness, Cecilia, Kibera, and May. I'm not really that big of a fan of the wedding costumes, to be honest, and this looks particularly strange, I would say, for a wedding costume. That's not stylish, guys, but whatever. Yeah, Cass is cute, Kibera, alright, May, yeah, May is cute, and they also come with these extra motions as they have been doing with all the recent costumes. So yeah, that's it really, guys. One more week till we get the Eclipse changes. I'm really looking forward to it. They also have said that we would be getting more rewards. At least that was the intent, that getting Eaters should be better with this update. But again, there's no mention of that, so I'm really hoping that they didn't scrap that, because that was part of their initiative to close the gap a bit between paying players and not paying players, or players who cannot pay that more to advance their characters. This was definitely mentioned as one of the changes to fix some of that gap, and there is no mention of it in this preview now, so I really do hope that they did not scrap it, because that would be really disappointing, and I think a lot of people would be upset about it, me included. Oh yeah, and I didn't mention, but you can change the speed now for your runs in Eclipse, but you can't do it mid-battle, so we will see how that works out. Anyway, this has been the preview, guys. One more week. Until then, I've been Cloudie. See you in the next one. Bye bye.